I'm in the hospital and the doctor is asking for help, by user_Ramjet. So I was working at an ISP back in the 90s. Once morning, on my way to work, I got a pain in my side that was so bad that I had to pull over to the side of the road. I was out of my car rolling around on the ground due to the pain. The pain let up somewhat, so I drove to the hospital. It was early morning, so there wasn't any patients in emergency, so I was taken directly in. The doctor listened to my description. Then he poked my abdomen and I hit the ceiling in pain. He asked if that hurt and I said F_____ing yet. So he said, you have a gallstone. Then he said that he would get me a shot for the pain. He stayed by my bed as we waited for the shot to arrive. As we waited, he made small talk and he asked what I did for a living. I told him I worked for an ISP taking care of the servers. He then asked if I could look at his printer as it wasn't printing correctly. I reboot it every single night, by user it's Dr. Bongos. Very quick one, just happened. Working on a client's laptop, everything is running super slow. Brought up Task Manager, which even just opening that took a few minutes. Asked when the last time she's rebooted it while we waited. She said I reboot it every single night when I'm done with work. Task Manager comes up. Check system uptime. 319:04:44:28 Windows updates also haven't been running the whole time. Rebooted, ran updates, rebooted again, ran updates, rebooted again, things running like a dream. Asked how she reboots it, she said she closes the lid and knows that doing so doesn't reboot the computer, it just puts it to sleep. Changed power settings to shut down when closing the lid. My computer won't power on, I wonder why, by user Arcaninas Firepower. I've been working in the IT world for about 9 years now, so I have plenty of stories like this, but this one is more recent. I got a desktop tower that the customer stated would not turn on. The first thing I do is plug it in, and turn it on, nothing happens. So now I open it up and dear God. The amount of smoke damage, roaches, and corrosion in this thing was enough to make me gag. I noped out of that one, got some pictures of all the damage, per company policy, tagged it and bagged it. Sent it back to the customer stating that this is a biohazard and we are refusing work. Honestly, with the amount of crap in the computer, I would hate to see their house. I mean, I consider myself messy, but my computer never gets even close to that bad. But I'm closer to the office now, by user Gonzamacho. Long time ago, in a galaxy far away, I wrote about helping a coworker with a simultaneous printing issue. She is back. I got a ticket and it didn't make a lot of sense. It was one sentence and it just didn't parse out as a request to me. I have moved and I am having trouble with an app over the internet still. I try to call her extension but it just rings until I get her voicemail, so I fire off an email to the submitter, and await the reply. My email. Which application are you having trouble with over the internet? What is your connection speed/quality or your new location? Of course, like the rest of the world, we had a lot of people shift from in-office to remote work in 2020. Some of them came back to the office full-time, some part-time. Those guys didn't make sense to me, but I'm a peon, and the mass majority of the company work remotely still. We just happened to have been migrating everything we could to the cloud, because the cloud is the special place that makes the marketing people super giddy when they say it. So the majority of our software wasn't in office any longer. I know the term should be on-premise, but it's in cloud or in office a lot for some reason, but we have a lot of homebrew apps that are still in the office. Some of the homebrew stuff wasn't designed to work over an internet connection, even a rather fast one. And of course there is no resources to resolve this issue. Just keep it working, manager. I don't care if it's not been updated since 2004, keep it working or else. I wonder what the or else will mean when it stops working because Internet Explorer disappears completely from the world. I get a reply to my email. Her email, it's Image Tracker. My internet is faster than my old internet and better in every way. It's fiber. Ugh, Image Tracker is a document scanning and archive system some programmer made one weekend, and convinced the company to buy from them. It's one of the older homebrew apps. It works, somewhat, on the LAN, but it reads into the local app the entire contents of a folder when you open it. Not a big deal if you open something small, but if you work in a large folder structure, you get timeouts and crashes. It's not recommended to work with across the VPN. We actually have a workaround, but I cover that later. My reply, well, connect to me on support app, and I'll see if I can do something. Intermission, since everyone is working from home, we have to help even if we know we can't help. The new boss wants us to put forth a visible effort for the staff, our customers, even if all we do is run some command line stuff that looks good. I look around his system, I close a bunch of non-work related stuff, check her updates, check to see if she has junkware installed, she does, 4 coupon/deal finders which I didn't think were a thing any longer, and reboot. When the system comes back up I run a speed test, it appears she has an internet connection, but it's slow for fiber. Then I run a quality test our IP phone provider has set up. Chat oye, my IP phone quality has been horrible too. Me, chat ye, I called you and all I got was your voicemail. The quality of her connection is awful, I thought the ratings were excellent, good, and poor, never seen an awful from it before. Me, chat is anyone else using the connection? Chat why are you asking, what does it matter if someone else is using it? Alarm bells going off. Me, chat your internet connection is slower than I expected and the quality is worse than dial-up, I've never seen the quality test show awful as a result. Chat well, no one else is using it, I'm not sure why you think you can ask. If we reimburse an employee for their internet, that connection is 100% work-related during that employee's work-related hours. If they have kids watching 8K Netflix and are having trouble, they are asked to clear up the internet activity, or lose the reimbursement for internet. Me, chat if you get reimbursed for your internet connection from the company, you are required to use that connection for work-related traffic during your work hours. Chat since when? Me, chat since always, I need to inform you I'm going to pass this chat log to your manager, you need to review the company policy on working from home. Me, chat so if you don't have any other internet activity going on, you need to contact your ISP and have them check the connection. My phone rings, I look at the caller ID and see it's this lady's boss, Lisa. Me, phone hello, this is IT guy. Her boss, phone why is printer lady telling me you are harassing her about her internet activity, what is she doing? Chat you still there? Me, chat yes, your boss called me, 1 second. Chat good. I explain I wasn't harassing or threatening her, I just explained that if she gets reimbursed for her internet from the company, work takes priority during her working hours. Her boss, phone she knows that, she signed the paperwork when we transitioned. Me, phone she may have signed it, but she might not have understood it. Her boss, phone sigh okay, let me know when you get done, send me the log, I'll review it all with her and send her a renewal request for the form click. Me, chat you need to contact your internet service provider and put in a trouble ticket, your connection is less than the minimum for remote work and the quality is abysmal. I can't do that for you, and I'm unable to resolve the software issue until your internet connection improves. She leaves the support session without saying anything else, so I assume she's calling her ISP, or her boss, or the Better Business Bureau. Yes, we had an employee call and report us to the BBB because we asked them to stop their family from using their internet connection excessively during their work hours. Idle time is the birthplace of curiosity, so I delve into the expense system, I'm the support for the system and I have full access, none of it is PII so it's not technically breaking any rules if I look at her expense forms. She has localisp internet, but the price she is paying isn't for fiber, it's too low. I Google and she's being charged their DSL price, I look at her new address and she's in a new subdivision. I call a friend at localisp and he explains that subdivision didn't have any infrastructure when it was laid out for fiber. The best they have is DSL over a POTS system that the developer installed for phone service. I ask it if it was possible for someone to have fiber at any address in that subdivision, he says no, and it won't be available soon because of some issues with a developer and builder dispute. He also lets me know the POTS lines were very noisy and it was degrading the DSL service in some cases. Well, that explains her issue, I thank him and offer to get him lunch later in the week, of course he agrees. I then dig a little more, when did she move? Last week, she moved closer to the office to work from home? She's not one of the split-time people, weird. I check my email, and see she's sent me a message, woohoo. Her email I called my ISP and they checked everything, it's all working like it should, but I still get a timeout with image tracker. I reply to her and her manager. Me, email I contacted the ISP and your new address doesn't have access to fiber, you have a DSL connection and not fiber, your DSL connection is below the performance to meet the work from home requirements. You will need to resolve this issue with your manager and HR. A little back and forth for a bit, eventually we end up in a 5-way call with my boss, her, me and the HR guy. After everything calms down, I explain that the brand spanking new subdivision she moved into has some legal struggles that is preventing any more development until they are resolved. And she is stuck with an outdated POTS system and poor quality DSL service. After some more hewing and hawing, she gets frustrated and blurts out, "I sold my house, and bought one closer to work so my work quality situation would improve." It was silent for a bit, and I was the first to speak up. "Me, you moved, sold, and bought a new house, so you could work quality would improve? Do you mean moving closer to the office was supposed to make things work better from your closer home?" Her, "Yes, if I'm closing to the office, the internet connection is shorter, right?" I had a meeting with HR later for laughing out loud on a conference call, and another after my boss made me explain why moving closer to the office wouldn't improve stuff working over the VPN. PhD Student vs Technician, by user Jills Manber. Hi guys, obligatory LTL, FTP. This just happened the past week. I'm a last year PhD student working with bioinformatics. So of course, since the word informatics is in there, I also unknowingly became the lab's IT support over the years. Cannot run a command line program? Sure, I'll help. Translation, Google the error message. Oh, a pandemic hit us and now we'll need to access every computer remotely? I guess I'm the only one who knows how to Google for that, too. Need to image a Linux or Windows machine. VPN not connecting? Hey, have you guys tried turning it off and on again? Backstory to this post: last year, our department bought a very expensive microscope. At first we placed it in our lab as an immediate solution, but since it was meant to be shared by the entire department, it eventually had to be moved to a shared room. The microscope can be remotely controlled by the company's software, which needs to be individually installed by their technician in every machine we intend to use. So our plan was to move the microscope to the shared room along with a desktop computer to control it. Naturally, the company's technician would install the software, set up the connection between microscope and computer, and test that everything works properly in the new room. Cue to this week's incident. Prior to Tech's visit, I imaged a desktop computer that was lying around in the lab. I set up its remote access, set it to wake after power outage, all that good stuff. I explained to $postdoc and $pi that it was basically ready to install the microscope software and be moved to the new room. I asked them to let me know when Tech would come, so that I could be there to help if needed. My research can be done remotely so I'm not every day in the lab. Of course they didn't do it. I'm at home finishing my research for the day when at 5 p.m. I get a message from $pi. $pi, hey $me, $postdoc, and Tech are struggling to make the computer work in the new room, can you help them? Cheers. Against my better judgment I sent $postdoc a message and ask what's up. Here's how it goes. $me, hey $postdoc, $pi said you were having some trouble, is the computer working? $postdoc, hi $me, yet everything was working fine. Tech installed the software and set up the connection to the microscope. But then we moved the computer to the new room, and now it is not turning on. We tried a lot of stuff and don't know what's up. So we go through some troubleshooting steps. Are the cords plugged on the wall? Are the LEDs on? Does the monitor turns on? Are the cables properly connected? Have you tried every port, etc.? $postdoc, yeah, we tried everything. The monitor is fine, it just has no signal. Our guess is that the PSU is dead. We first connected it to a 110V outlet and it was set to 220V, so maybe that's what caused it. Brief explanation: in my country, both 110V and 220V outlets are common even in regular houses, and yes, it's as messy as it sounds. Some devices only work at a given voltage, some devices can automatically transform from 110V to 220V, and some have a manual switch for this. The computer fits this last case. Now, what $postdoc did was bad, but connecting 220V devices to 110V outlets shouldn't in theory nuke the PSU, not as bad as the other way around, anyway. $postdoc, Tech even took it back to the old room, plugged it in the 220V outlet that it was previously connected to, and nothing happened. So yeah, we're pretty sure it's the PSU. At this point it was almost 6 p.m. and Tech was heading out. In my head, I wasn't really buying the PSU thing, but I couldn't figure out the root cause without going to the lab and seeing for myself. $me, okay, I can go to the lab in a few days, then I'll check it out. Worst case scenario I take it to a repair shop. $postdoc, okay, thanks $me. A few days later, I take the 50-minute drive to the lab. If the issue was really with the PSU, I was kinda pissed that Tech apparently borked it, but whatever, let's see what's up. I get to the lab, put my stuff on the desk and immediately go check on the computer. Surprisingly, I hear a faint whizzing coming from the case. Wait, is the computer turned on? I check the monitor and as $postdoc said, it's on but has no signal. I gaze back at the case, and then into the case, through the transparent acrylic casing. And then it hit me. QPOM meeting face. I move towards the back of the case, unplug the VGA cable from the motherboard port, and plug it back into the video card port. Lo and behold, after 30 seconds of troubleshooting, I'm met by inspiring images of Windows landscapes in the monitor. I send a picture of the working desktop to $Pi and write, I'll send you my rates later by email, just joking of course. But maybe. Now if I had a ticket system, I'd go with, Tech is defective, replacement needed. As for $postdoc, their words echoed my head, we tried every port. Hey! Turns out users do lie.